Hi, this is Daniel from Hiking and Survival, and this is day, I think, 5 now. Okay, I didn't record for the last few days because nothing really much was happening, and not much to say. Um, it's now the 13th of April, and to be honest, not much is being happening. Not much has changed. We went out on Saturday to get essential foods and supplies for the family, and we did see a drop off from people around. Um, Less traffic on the road, but really not that great a difference. Okay, when we got down to where you buy food and that, it was still packed with people, and it got to points where we decided that we wouldn't actually buy anything because we thought it was too dangerous. Because, as I said before, and I've said many times, Japanese people haven't been told about social distancing and keeping 2 meters apart or whatever it is. And so people were just packed up against each other. Yes, more and more people are wearing masks now, but still people are really on top of each other. And so we ended up coming home. We bought a few things coming, and then just decided to come home because we just didn't want to take the risk. And that is something I'm very happy for with my family anyway, that we are taking it seriously. We do try our best to keep ourselves safe, and for social distancing we are keeping ourselves up to date with what's going on the rest of the world, not just here in Japan. And so we are trying our best. As for Japanese people, at the moment there's two camps from what we can see. Well, actually, no, tell like 3 camps really. There's ones who are freaking out. Okay, we had to go somewhere, and literally this woman was screaming at her child about don't touch anything, don't touch anything, stop touching things, stop touching things, and she was like really frantically freaking out, which is not good for her health or the child's, and just taking it too seriously. Like, yes, we know this is dangerous, people are dying from it, but do what you can to prevent it. But screaming at your child stop touching things doesn't help, you know. I get away with it with my kids because I carry a bottle of disinfectant with me in my pocket, sorry. And as soon as we come out of somewhere, I'm like, give me your hands, and we're spraying them down. And luckily my kids know not to touch their faces, and they keep their masks on. Okay, but then again, I'm lucky I've got an 11-year-old and a 9-year-old. This woman looked like she had a 5 or 6-year-old, and yeah. Then the other camp that you have is they're in total denial. Nothing's going on. They're wearing no masks. They're just going around their daily lives, and they can't figure out what the hell's going on. And then, of course, the third camp is like myself. We're taking it seriously. We're watching what's going on. We are monitoring our co-workers. We went to visit one of my wife's friends to hand in some supplies to them, and they were worried, at some point one of them was going to get a fever or something like that. And so they were in the same camp as we are, being careful and monitoring and taking all precautions. When packages arrive, we're spraying them down, and we would leave them out in sunlight. But as you've seen today, it has been raining now for the last 2 days, which I think is somebody's way of saying, hey, if you guys are not going to be social distancing and keeping out of the parks, I'm going to take over. Because literally, I know yesterday was Easter, so happy Easter to everyone who believes in it. And for me, in my family, it has always rained on Easter Sunday. Always rained. And even here in Japan, it rained for Easter Sunday, and literally it poured down all day. And then last night we had very heavy winds and a storm, and it's still raining today, and that's keeping everyone indoors, luckily. So I think the weather's starting to help us. I know as regards to do social media and the government, they are pleading for people to stay indoors and start taking this seriously. it seems that sometime today, the local prefectural government is going to basically shut down nightclubs and bars because people are still going to nightclubs and bars because they're open. Part of the crackdown, the emergency crackdown, gave them powers to be able to do it, but they have been, as I said to you, all along doing softly, softly catch a monkey, hopefully hoping that the people would listen to their advice and just do what the right thing. But also, as I said before, unless there's a law in place, Japanese people don't actually observe it. And so the younger people were going to nightclubs still. How are you supposed to stop this if you're still gathering in small, badly ventilated places in large numbers? It's just not going to work. You're just killing yourselves and killing everyone else. So that's the sad news on it. We're hoping that's going to crack in, and we really need to have some tighter laws to help us with this. We need some. I tell you what we need, and I haven't seen any, not in this country. It might be happening in other countries, but not in this country. If there was large numbers of car accidents and road deaths, what happens? They put out adverts saying, mind your driving, stop road deaths, cut down on the road deaths, stop drink driving. Tobacco. This is what tobacco does to you. I have not seen any government advertisements on what people should be doing to protect themselves from this virus. That is the most strangest thing ever. Is it got to a point that governments have lost the capacity to actually know what they're supposed to be doing? I think so. I think in the last decade, governments have turned into this money-grabbing entity that just wants to make as much money for themselves, don't really care about the people, and have lost all ethical ideas of what they're supposed to be and what they're doing. I think we're seeing this all around the world. I was just talking to a friend of mine in the States who was saying stuff about the different prime ministers, and as I turned around and said, yeah, well, let's look at some of the prime ministers in the world. Okay, you had the UK prime minister who was saying, don't need masks, just stay away from each other, keep washing your hands. You wash your hands, you'll be fine. And he ended up in intensive care. You have the other guy in the States, I'm not saying names, who was saying this is not really happening, it's fake news, don't worry about it, it's not really going to affect America, Americans are clean. And suddenly, now he's turning around and saying, be prepared for more deaths because this is going to get worse. And then you have here in Japan where nothing's happening, and sure, we're going to have the Olympic Games, it's still going to go ahead, and then suddenly, maybe we shouldn't have the Olympic Games, and now, shit, look what's happening in Tokyo and certain parts of Japan, and still hasn't got that round to putting his foot down. But he can't, his hands are tied, and he's left it too late. That's the way it feels. And I keep saying only time will tell. But that's my little rant for today. As I said, nothing more has happened here in Japan, except for, the number of cases have gone up and doubled, more people have died, and the hospitals are screaming out to people to start taking this seriously and to let them know that they're not going to be able to cope. It's the same happening all over the world. At this stage, the health organisations in each country is basically pleading and begging for the public to stay indoors, take this seriously, because they don't have the manpower and they are dying themselves trying to look after the people that are going in. And the governments are standing there going, oh sure, we're doing the best we can, but still they're not backing up the health services in the areas that they need to by making this more apparent to the public how dangerous this is, and especially here in Japan. That's what I feel, because I don't see any seriousness in the Japanese people at all. But then again, that's probably just their demeanour. I don't know, it's hard to say. They're very emotionless people as it is. They hide their emotions very well, and even if you corner them in a private place and you ask them for their opinion and stuff, they're still guarded. You'd swear sometimes that this was a communist country, that everyone's watching what they're saying, but it's not. But still they act that way. because nobody wants to let you, majority of people don't want you to know their own opinion and how they feel. They keep everything close to themselves. But there you go. Anyway, this is the end of my blog for today. If anything major happens, I'll let you know. Otherwise, I'll probably see you in about 2 days. I was hoping to do these every day, but as I said, not much is changing, and they just get boring after a while then for you and for me. But I just wanted to keep you updated and let you know we're all well. I hope you're all well, and let's get through this. And the more wet, miserable days we have like this, I think are going to keep more people indoors and help everybody out, because those sunny, fine days that everyone loves is what brings everyone out. Anyway, take care and see you on the flip side. And remember, be prepared.